A lot of you want to learn how to speak in English. Now, I'm not going to say that all of you don't know how to speak in English, but the problem that you generally face while speaking in English is you lack confidence. The words just don't seem to come out of your head when you are speaking English, and at times you feel like you are scrambling to get words from here and there, and eventually just failing to do what you wanted to do. So in this channel we will try to make sure that these kind of things don't happen to you. And many of you might say that, sir, please teach speaking English in Bengali or Hindi or any other language. But I would like to say, कौन हिंदी में स्पोकन इंग्लिश सीख सकता है, ये मुझे थोड़ा सा बताओ। या फिर বাংলাতে কি করে কেউ স্পোকেন ইংলিশ শিখতে পারে। স্পোকেন ইংলিশ বা ইংলিশে কথা বলা অথবা ইংলিশ জানা, ইংলিশ একটা আলাদা ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, তো এটা তো একেবারেই সম্ভব নয় যে তুমি ইংলিশ শিখবে বাংলাতে। তো বেসিক্যালি আমি কি করব, এই চ্যানেলে পুরোটাই চেষ্টা করব इंग्लिशे रखते। एवं आरो एक जिनिस बोले रखी, इस चैनल में इस वीडियो के अलावा जो ये जो पार्ट हो रहा है उसके बाद हिंदी अथवा बेंगली अन्य कोनो लैंग्वेजे एक शब्द থাকবে না। এটা इंग्लिश लार्निंग एर चैनल, এখানে इंग्लिश শেখা হবে, অন্য কোনো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ নয়। এর মানে এই নয় যে আমি অন্য কোনো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজকে ডিসরেসপেক্ট করছি, বাট অন্য কোনো ধরো কেউ যদি বাংলা শিখতে চায় তাকে বাংলাতেই শিখতে হবে। সেটা কোনো ইংলিশ স্পিকার বাংলাতে কথা বলতে গিয়ে সে ইংলিশে বাংলাতে শিখবে না, বা কোনো ইংলিশ স্পিকার বলো বা কোনো ল্যাটিন আমেরিকান যে স্প্যানিশে কথা বলে সে কখনোই হিন্দি অথবা বাংলা শিখবে না সেই স্প্যানিশ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে। তো তোমাদেরকেও যদি হিন্দি যদি ইংলিশ শিখতে হয়, সো বেসিক্যালি ইউ হ্যাভ টু লার্ন ইট ইন ইংলিশ। সো with this introduction, let's get started. Now we are on my computer screen, and as you can see, as I said in my last video, in the first lesson of this channel I'm going to introduce myself. So here is an introduction about myself. My name, as you can see right here written, is Shubhajit Banerjee, and I'll be teaching you English from now on in this YouTube channel. So basically I am a freelance writer by profession, and I've been working with clients all over the world. So I have to speak to them regularly, and English is the medium of communication that we use. And I've been learning spoken English, I think, from when I was in class 6 or 7, and now all that I have learned from my experience, I just like to share with you through these videos, and hopefully some of you will find it helpful in your quest of becoming a good English speaker. So what are we going to do in this video? Now I'll make sure that you can understand my pronunciation, and I'll make sure that my pronunciation is as simple as I can make it. So in the first video I'm going to give you 5 basic tips for beginners. Now we'll go through each and every step, and I'll explain them one by one. So what we'll do, I will show you each slide with tips on it, and I'll be explaining to them, and these are going to be the processes that you have to follow in order to become good in English. So as you can see written right here, learning English is all about the process which you need to follow. So if you follow the process, then you will be able to speak English quite fluently. I won't say within a few weeks, but over time you'll get better. So remember, we're trying to break the translation loop in your head. So what is this translation loop? You have to understand that. So basically, in our head, whenever we hear something in English, we tend to translate that in our mother tongue. It's something that we have been taught to do from our school days. Whenever we used to read English, the teachers used to translate that to either in Bengali or in whatever regional language that you had in your school. It's a big problem. That habit of translating words has created a translation loop in our head. And what happens because of that, we can't think in English. And if you can't think in English, then it's going to be really difficult for you to become fluent while speaking it. So, what we would like to do in this channel is to break this translation loop once and for all, so that after a few years, when you get better, you'd be able to think in English and answer whatever questions you have, or with whomever you're having that conversation, you could just go with the flow. You don't have to think, oh, what's the meaning of this word, because you will have plenty of stock of words in your head already, so that you won't be scrambling for words again. So you have to follow these tips minutely. It means very carefully and to the point. Alright, so let's start with our first tips. You have to be realistic about your English learning goals. So what we see in many advertisements, and you would find many advertisements in YouTube just giving you just giving you a bait to join their courses, where they're saying that they'll make you fluent in English within 7 days. And the bottom line is, that's not going to happen. You can't become fluent in English within just 7 days or even 7 months. It's a continuous process. So if you think that I'll be able to speak English like Shashi Tharoor or Karan Thapar or even Virat Kohli, then within just a few months, then it's not going to happen. So do not expect your English to be as good as that of a native speaker. So who is a native speaker? A native speaker is someone who has English as his first language. So just when you have started to learn how to speak in English, if you expect your skill to be as good as of a native speaker, then that is an unrealistic goal that you should not have in your head, because that will really work as a detractor, which means after a few days or a few weeks, you will eventually give up. And that happens to many people. Whenever we start off on a journey to learn a specific skill, and we think that yes, I'm going to be as good as the one who's the best in that field, and after a few weeks of hustle, we think that we are almost there, but in the end we give up, because we know that we can't achieve we can't be that good. But English is one such language where you can be that good, but you have to be patient. So you have to be realistic about your goal. You just can't, if you join an institute and they say they will make you fluent in English within 6 months, you should know that they are lying, because that's not going to happen. So the first tip that I'll be giving you in this case is, be realistic about your goals, because that will help you to set up your mindset that it's going to be a long process, it's going to be a long journey in which you are embarking, and within a few days you will not be becoming someone like a Virat Kohli or Shashi Tharoor, who can speak English quite fluently. And as you can see, I am giving you examples of the Indian English speakers, because no matter how good you are, how much you try, your accent will stay like an Indian. We are an Indian, we have a different tone while speaking. A Britisher will have a different tone, an Australian will have a different tone, an American will have a different tone. So I'll make a video on this one in a later part, where I'll be explaining you how you can differentiate between an American English, Australian English, British English, and Indian English, and that's going to be fun to watch. So let's now move on to the next slide. This is the second tip that I want to give you, and that is reading and listening matters. So I just want to know, just comment down below how many books you have read in English. Okay, I would just want to know from my students who are participating in my classes, how many books have you written in English, and name one book that has really influenced you in your life. So reading and listening can help you learn a lot about the language. So what does that mean? That means when you are reading or listening to a language, it will ensure that you are listening or reading new words, your vocabulary is getting enriched, which means whenever you are stuck while having a conversation, you can quickly recapture those words and use it. Okay, so that is why reading and listening will matter a lot. So you have to start reading. It doesn't have to be a book. You can start reading newspapers, or you can also start reading whatever you get in front of you, but that has to be in English. Okay, reading is good, but reading in English, that is what matters. If you are trying to learn in English, if you would have tried to learn Bengali, then I would have said read something in Bengali. Listening, what do you have to listen? You have to listen to English music and watch English movies, because while watching English movies you will be hearing English speakers speak, so you will have a better knowledge of how to approach in an English conversation. Also, if you initially you will struggle a lot to understand what they are saying. So in that case, what you can do, you just have to read the subtitles. You will find subtitles in YouTube videos. So suppose if you want to hear See You Again by Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa, which is one of the top videos of YouTube. So if you start to listen to that song, you may not understand what Charlie Puth is saying. So in that case, what you can do, you can just search the song and write lyrics just beside it, and you'll have a song. You'll have that song with lyrics on it. So as the song goes on, just go with the lyrics. You will know what he's trying to say. After listening to the same song twice with the lyrics, now close the lyrics and open the actual song. Then you will see that you are getting to understand what he is saying one by one. In this way, you will surely be able to understand English words and the style of pronunciation that the native speakers have. Also, for movies, you can watch along with the subtitles. It might sound boring, but once you have seen the entire movie with the subtitles, now close it and watch it without subtitles. You will see the difference. It happened to me when I watched Harry Potter. The first copy that I had, it had subtitles, so I used to watch it along the subtitles, and then later on when I found one without subtitles, and I was okay, I can understand whatever Harry or Hermione or Ron Weasley or I think the toughest accent to understand was of Hagrid, and I was able to understand each of those accents quite nicely. So that's going to be the second tip that I'll give you. Read and start listening to English at least 15 minutes a day. Devote your 15 minutes of 24 hours in English. I mean, whether you are reading it or listening to any YouTube videos or music, anything like that. So later on I'll also make a video on some of the English YouTube channels that you can follow that can really enrich your English. Channels from the Western countries which are not only entertaining but that can really help you to make your English better. Practice makes a man perfect. we have heard this proverb tons of times. Yes, in whichever skill that you are learning, practice is perhaps the biggest thing that you have to do. Without practice, you can't improve and you won't find that confidence that you need when you are speaking English with someone. So, practice English speaking whenever you get a chance. In our daily life, basically, we have tons of chances where we could use an English word, but what we do, we tend to use our native words in that space. But if you want to learn this language, then you just have to substitute them. Do not pass up a chance to speak English whenever one arises. So whenever you get a chance to speak in English, just don't let it slip. That would really help you in the long term. Yes, you might say I would mess up, I would not be able to speak fluently, or words might get stuck. Don't have to worry about them. I mean, the majority of people that you'll have around you may not be able to speak English fluently. So why are you getting scared to speak to those people? Because after certain years, you might end up having to speak to someone who has absolutely mastered this language. So what will you do then? So start to speak with those people who don't know how to speak English properly. But if you want to learn this language properly, then you have to speak to those people as well who knows this language and can speak. So there are tons of apps in which you can speak to native English speakers, which can really help you. So if you can't do this, then speak with your mind, and that is a very valid point, because if you don't have anyone around you, you still have yourself. So either you can just sit back on a chair and start speaking with yourself, or either you can stand in front of a mirror and start speaking with yourself. That can be the best policy for you, without any doubt, because that will really help you to break that translation loop for sure. So that is one thing that you can really follow. So that is my third tip. Practice makes a man perfect. So don't ever forget to practice at least for 15 minutes in your 24 hours. Make mistakes. So here it is. Initially, when you are starting to learn English, you are bound to make mistakes. You won't become perfect within a few days, that's for sure. So you are bound to make mistakes, which you have to accept. So almost all of you will make mistakes initially, as mistakes are part of learning, and it means you are actually learning. So yeah, if you are making mistakes, that means you are actually learning. If you are absolutely perfect, then you don't have to learn anything. So if you want to learn, make mistakes. So never be afraid of making mistakes while speaking or using this beautiful language anywhere. Yes, English is a beautiful language and I love it. But if you get scared of making mistakes and want to avoid it at any cost, then you won't be able to learn. So never be afraid. Be fearless while speaking English. As you can see, while speaking, I am also making a lot of mistakes, which I am rectifying it in my head. It's a continuous process, and while teaching you guys, I'll be also learning how I can teach others better and also improve my speaking power more. So these mistakes will eventually help you in becoming a better speaker. Yes, that's right. These are the mistakes. These are the mistakes that you will make, and you have to learn from them, and eventually it will lead you to becoming a very, very good speaker, someone that your friends might start to envy as well. So it's a very valid point that you should not be forgetting. If you make mistakes and if you get disheartened, just tell yourself, I am learning. Make simple sentences first. So most of us, what we do whenever we try to speak in English is make long and complex sentences. That really boggles our mind. So whenever you are learning something, you just have to start by taking baby steps, one step at a time. So in your head, whenever you are making a sentence, make sure that you are making a simple sentence. So if you start making simple sentences and master that, please remember, making a simple sentence is a lot difficult than you might think. So you start to make simple sentences, and after that go for the bigger ones. And once you get habituated with the language, these simple sentences will come to you quite naturally, and you don't have to think much with them. So that is something that I would really recommend you to follow. Don't ever try to make long sentences initially, because that is our habit, because we think that making long sentences will make us look smart, someone that knows English, but that's not the case. If you keep on making larger and larger sentence with more complexities than simplicity, then you will end up making a fool out of yourself. So that's what I want you to do. Make simple sentences initially, and after that go for the complex sentences. I really appreciate that you stayed till the end to watch this class. It's basically an introductory class, and now you will have a fair idea how we will approach learning English. So your homework is to follow all the tips that I have given you for 2 to 3 days, and tell me in the comment section below whether you have made any improvement or not. And you need to keep practicing English, because that's the only way you will get better. So subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to get the notification of the latest lessons that I'll be uploading. It's really important, because you don't want to miss the classes that are to follow, because those are going to be really important. Also, like and share the video with your friends, and drop a comment below about your experience so far. So if you want your friends and family members to learn English speaking completely free of cost in simple language, it will be in English, but the language that I'll be using is going to be really simple. So if you want them and help them out, just share this video. And also, if you have any suggestions that you want to give me about making videos, then that would also be really helpful for me. So that's it for the day, guys. We'll catch up in the next video. Till then, take care and bye.